Let's hope this works. Well, I tried this before and no one could hear me. So we're going to try it again and hopefully you guys can hear me. Unfortunately, I have to use any time that I have to either run errands or something to get questions answered because it becomes very difficult. Like this has been nonstop. I'll just drive until I can, I used to be able to share the video, now you can't. Just let me know if you can hear me, please. We'll get started soon. Just let me know if you can hear me. We had a hard time with sound before. If you guys can share the video, I'd appreciate it. Share it to groups, share it to chats, share it to chat, share it to groups. And hey Jordan, hey Megan, sorry. If you don't mind, just share it to everyone while we're waiting for people to join. I think about the TikToks when they do, if you guys ever are on TikTok, they'll go, yeah, I'm just waiting for people to join. And they're putting on lipstick and their lips are this big. It's just kind of funny, I don't know. You can hear me? Okay, cool. Cool. Much better. We'll just wait for people to join. When they put the lipstick on. Like, it's so funny. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it is pretty funny. They're like, okay, everyone, I'm just gonna wait for people to join, and they're putting on their makeup like that. It's just, I don't know, I find it comical, but I find humor in a lot of things in this life. If you don't laugh, you might cry, so. So anyway, but as you guys are joining, we're gonna get some questions answered. Maybe we'll bring up some team members, and you know, lots of people have lots of questions and stuff. It's just easier to do a live and just answer things that way because as you know, we're like literally inundated. I also have an assistant that goes through all my social media platforms and responds, and it just becomes very difficult sometimes. So we're not trying to be, you know, abrupt with our answers. It's just very hard to get through them all. But we do send out, like, Clarice will actually send out, like, if you need help, there's an option for that. And then if you want to be a part of the federal bill initiative, there's an option for that. We're still doing the Wednesday night meetings because, as you know, when you write a bill, it's not a bill the minute you write it. It doesn't become a bill instantly. Well, you should know this. Basically, what happens is you draft it all out, and we did things very differently, which got massive attention on it. We brought the voice with us. So I actually did a numbers count. I thought it was like over 200. We had like almost 250 people that came with us to Washington, D.C. during a government shutdown. Pretty amazing. And I really didn't formally present this that long. It wasn't even a full 4 months, and we were all out there. And it got the ear of a lot of Congress members who have sent us emails, which is pretty cool. And they noticed, they recognized that even though we didn't get our congressional hearing room that we originally had because of the shutdown, but honestly, the room we had would only have fit 50 people, so we would have never been able to get everybody in there anyway. So God has a better plan and works things out for our good. Always better. It's always better than what we think. You just kind of follow his leading and follow his directions. But some amazing things happened. I mean, so basically, those of you that know, the Trebuchet podcast has been basically following us around and become very good friends now with Autumn Mainlick, and we did a 2.5 hour interview, or I'm sorry, 2.5 hour. We were with a producer last night in a Zoom meeting, and she's got access to a lot of different things, not just Netflix, like Hulu and several others that she's very connected with, and she wasn't even going to get off the phone. I had actually had another appointment, so I had to go. We would have even stayed on longer. She's been able to experience this first initial 67 videos that we initially did, where you guys did the 3 minutes. She knows clearly the pattern of abuse. She knows all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, and the current stuff, and the trip to DC, and the 2-day, seminar or 2-day presentations that we did. And then all the families that did interviews that are continuing to come in, they're all, coming in too. We're going to talk more about that on Wednesday night. Yeah, please share this. This is important because I'm going to try to give a lot of information while I drive. But yeah, so basically, she's taking the stories. I showed her a lot of other things. I showed her the New York State Assembly, where years ago I already connected through using their own actual statistics against them. I showed how it's the family court judges that make the orders that are that are actually opening the gateway door to child trafficking. So basically, thank you. I was able to show all that, and then also where I exposed it for the first time ever, which was on Harder New York TV, and then people started picking that up and starting to tell the story. What's pretty neat is that a lot of these foster kids that are now grown adults or still teenagers or whatever, they're on TikTok a lot, and they're exposing what's happened to them, and they're getting millions of views. These kids, they're getting millions of views. So what's really cool is that she's allowing Autumn and myself to make sure that we're pre-screening everyone that'll be a part of the Netflix documentary of the Family Justice and Accountability Act. I am so freaking excited. This is not just a bill, guys. Once we're going back down to DC for the 3rd time since October 20th. This will be my 3rd time. And I'm just impressed by the amount of people that are coming with me. We're not even planning these now. We're just boom, we're going. Okay, boom, we're going. And people are coming. And we have lots of appointments with lots of appointments. We've had them over the week. I keep fitting them in my schedule. Virtual appointments with Congress members or their teams, head legislators legislative directors and so on and so forth. And we have actual appointments with more Congress members while I'm down there, and teams. It just depends. It just depends on who, how it's scheduled. And I'm with a lot of these members that I'm going to be speaking with. I've got their constituent. They'll be their constituent with me there. And then when I get back, I've got even more appointments. So we're going to be filling the halls of Congress again. And it's just interesting because, Autumn was coming around. She has a whole production team. There's multiple videos and just tons and tons of videos that just keep coming, families, because basically what the Lord said to me was not just the bill, you're going to formally introduce that. It's not quite a bill yet, okay, but the act, and the Family Justice and Accountability Act. And basically what it does is it enforces the laws that pre-exist. That's what it does, okay? So we're not trying to get a new law out there. We're just demanding that this evil system has to have accountability. And that's why it's called the Family, genuine, not like family courts nonsense, okay? The Family Justice, people getting justice, and Accountability Act. Okay, and it covers everything. It covers everything. Anything that I've ever experienced and seen in these families across the country in my 18 plus years now of doing this work. Okay, this bill covers it. It enforces the ADA. It enforces the Articles of Human Rights. It enforces the Constitution. Okay, the whole bill. We've had constitutional lawyers look at it. I can't even begin to tell you. I'm not even allowed to say yet publicly. There will be a huge press release coming out. I said it was fine for me to do the Netflix one and talk about that because they can't reach out to these people, the ones that harass us. So I'm doing that. Plus, I need to let you guys know so you can keep coming. Okay, keep coming. When you message, or if you could look on my Facebook page and scroll through, basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for the Wednesday night meetings, or you're going to go to any of your Family Justice and Accountability Act state pages where we have team leads. We're now needing 5 team leads per state. So 1 team lead, 2 and 3 team leads are not enough for the amounts of numbers that are coming in. So we now need 5 team leads because that's how it's going into 5th gear, like a car when it goes into 5th gear and you're speeding. That's where we're at right now. Because you got to remember, this is a combination of working with Congress members to get the bill number ready, to get the bill enacted. In essence, I'm really trying to get this done as quickly as possible. It shouldn't even be something that needs a vote on it, because we're voting for the Constitution, guys. We're voting for the Articles of Human Rights. We're voting for the ADA. We already have this. It's already existing. It just doesn't exist in family court, and that should have never happened. Okay, so nobody should be fighting this bill. If they are, be very wary of these people, because they're obviously against protecting families in family court and protecting children. So nobody should be fighting this bill. That would be insane. When we talk about parental alienation syndrome, we expose it for what it is. Dr. Richard Gardner, who normalized pedophilia with children in his own publications, and he made a false and pseudoscience, false diagnosis against mothers only. Sorry if that offends people, but that's what he did. I didn't do that. That's what he did, and I just expose it. So if you don't like that, you're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side. You're on the corruption side if you don't like that. That doesn't negate the fact that somebody feels alienated or feels separated from their children because a judge alienated you from your kids for claiming that you alienated your kids when you reported abuse. See the contradiction there? So that's what we expose. Okay, that's what we expose. And that's in the bill, and that's why we point at mothers, because that's who that is targeted against. It's targeted against mothers. It's not that we leave dads out. I've got multiple dads that are team leads across the states, okay, that I support 100%, and these guys know. These guys know. I got actual relationships with these awesome dads that I fight for or stand with, and so that's not the issue, so don't believe the hype. And I won't tolerate their lies either. I am not afraid. I have done this for over 18 years. God is on our side. I have strong faith in the Lord. I've been attacked by ridiculous nonsense and lies and all kinds of weird stuff. And God just gives me peace and joy every single day. He gives me direction. He tells me what to do, and leads and guides what we're doing. So why would I be afraid? Why would I be afraid? I've already been through what a lot of you have been through. So I've already feel your pain, and that's why I'm doing this. I've already got my children. I've always had, and I had to suffer it from retaliation, and I won my case. And I don't say that to be cocky, but faith in God, okay, and doing things the way we're supposed to, living our life right, and keeping short accounts with the Lord is part of winning your case. It's not just having all this knowledge, okay? It's having a right standing with our Creator, okay? Because that's what He cares about the most. He created marriage. He created the family that the devil tries to destroy and rip apart. God didn't do that. And so the courts are there to oblige that. The courts are there to harm you. The courts are there to rip your families apart and take your children away and put them in harm's way. And I'm here to turn that around. And the army that's with us. And we've got a mighty, mighty army. To the point that we've put so much fear in other advocacy groups that they're running down to D.C. to try to derail what we're doing. But you can't. Okay, and if you only knew my endorsers, those are the ones I can't share right now. It's all the way up the top. I'm blown away by what God has done. I'm blown away, and that's what I wanted to get on here for today, to encourage you all. Those of you that are fighting with us, those of you that are working with us, I'm so excited about it, because what the Lord has done, and our teams know, because I've sent in to our private chat that we have, I've sent in 2 of the endorsements that went to Congress, but we have a 3rd endorsement that's absolutely gargantuan, that's gone to some of the highest members of Congress, okay? And I'm just not going to put names out there, because as you guys saw what happened before, so we're keeping any photographs. We've got photographs, we've got videos, we've got all the footage we need ready for the Netflix documentary, but also for when I'm going to be blasting it all over social media, because then once we've got our fish hooked and out of the ocean and into our hands, that's when I'm going to expose it all. I'm going to expose it all. So get your friends, get your family, and don't just get watching. Don't do this just to watch. Be a part of monumental making history, because that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm done with begging family court and trying to get them to do the right thing. They're not going to. Okay, you know what your power is? Your power is in the authority of the federal laws. Okay, that's what speaks volumes right there. That's why I'm able to go in as a non-attorney, a non-certified bar member. I don't work for the Bar Association. I am private, and that's why for 18 years I have been able to go into courtrooms, including my own, and get my son back out of the hands of the grip of the devil, and also multiple other children throughout 18 years of doing this, stopping them from taking kids and getting kids back home. Okay, in some of the most craziest and corrupt courts in our country, which they all are. which they all are. So that's what this bill will do. This bill, because there's few people that actually do that, this bill will prevent this from happening. Now, people have told me they have put the bill as it's written right now, so the act, okay, so I know I have to watch my language because people like to blow up and make something out of nothing. They have taken the act and they've put it through, generated it through AI, and they've taken their case and they've asked questions. If this bill was enforced, they asked the questions, where would my case be right now? You know how many people come back and say their children would not be taken, they would have protection, they would have due process, their constitutional rights would not be violated. None of it would even be where they are right now, let alone having to worry about fixing all the mess that they created and the harm that they created with the children and the families. Okay, so if this bill was enacted, when this bill gets enacted, none of this would go on, guys. What better way could we do this? What better way could we do this? And on top of it, now we're going to be such a mighty army voice because there's going to be a Netflix documentary that's coming out, and it's not coming out right now. Obviously, we're still in the producing stages. So all the videos, everybody that came down to DC, all that some people thought, oh my God, I can't believe it. She didn't have whatever. God made it even bigger than I even thought was going to happen. Even bigger, your voices are going to be heard. Okay. So it's like, this is not about having the limelight. It's not about me. Like I said, this is about every family, every child that we should be as responsible adults in this country and parents. Okay. We should be caring about the neighbor's children. That's what we should be caring about. I could be living a much more relaxing life right now, not having to go my third time to DC, and I'll be going multiple more times. Okay. The money that it costs us to do all this and so on and so forth, traveling, expenses, dogs, I have a son that's home, like a lot on our plates, and everybody else that's sacrificing to do this, front lines, right? I could be living a very cush life, and instead I choose to do this because I care about the families. I don't have to do this. I choose to do this. Okay, all the work that I do, it's to help families because I know it's successful. It's always successful. It's always successful because the law is your authority. It's just that simple. The laws that's why they don't want you to know the laws. That's why they want you to be attorneyed by an attorney. That's why they want you to have somebody who represents you because you're incompetent to represent yourself according to them. And are you the unauthorized practice of law? What does that even mean? Could you explain that? Could you explain that? Are you saying that only people with a bar membership can understand law? So when I'm driving my car right now and I stop at a stop sign and I teach my son, you have to stop, aren't I teaching him the laws of the world, of the the laws of the land? And it's the same thing with family court. Should I not understand what the case law means according to my case? When I'm pro se, I'm going to have to learn all that or sue juris. So don't I have to keep an eye on my attorney that's not doing his job or her job because they intentionally leave things out that can win your case? You know darn well that if they did what you told them to do, they'd win your case, but they don't want to do that. Why would they want to? And you know that they're not going to sue the judges and sue everybody because they'd be suing themselves because they're part of the Bar Association, in which I deal with in the Family Justice and Accountability Act. So you guys can still keep joining us. We're still moving powerfully. Thank you, Natasha. I love you too. One day everything will be brought to light. Amen. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. You should only see what we have, the photos we have, the videos we have of Congress members that are supporting this, the emails I have where they're recognizing that I brought a huge amount of people down there, that phone calls that are coming in galore on behalf of the bill. Now what we're going to do the next couple days, people are already heading down now. I can't get down there. I will be heading down soon myself. And I have two packed days with Congress members meetings, constituent Congress members meetings where I'm presenting the bill and what we're doing. And my endorsers, because it's going to be confidential meetings, so they'll have my endorsers and they'll see all the higher ups in Congress that are in support of the bill. Okay, so whatever they tried to do, God, oh my God, I just love it. I got to tell you, when the enemy meant for evil, God will turn around for our good and his glory every single time, as long as you do things that are according to his will. You do things according to God's will, and God will turn it around and God will make it work for you. Always, always, always. Okay, we're sitting here and I've got, I won't even say names just for the sake of the protection, but certain people that literally are working with people who are considering or they're just really depressed and they're dealing with things. This work never ends. It's 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, never ends. And a lot of people that are like advocates in training right now because they're just wanting to volunteer. They're wanting to volunteer. We've been packing courts and enforcing. What we've been doing is we've been packing courts and enforcing the Family Justice and Accountability Act. That's what we've been doing. Okay, and they don't even know what to do with us right now. It's hilarious. But we're doing what the law says. We're just doing what the law says. So if you're a court of law, why would this bother you? It shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't bother you at all, right? So, but anyway, I don't have much time. I did want to come on here. Let's see if anybody wanted to talk or get on. Anybody want to come on? Anybody want to talk? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. Anybody want to come in here? You can do an invite. I don't mind. If you want to talk about your time with what we've been doing. If anybody wants to hop on. I know people like to hear from other people. I'm sorry, a car is like trying to... Does anybody want to hop on? It is absolutely amazing, Danielle. It is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Like literally what God is doing. It truly, truly is amazing. I'm blown away by it. And there's so much more. There's so much more. And you don't know like how hard it has been for me to have to zip my lip and not say anything. And I'm such an encourager. I like to encourage people because I know it when they're, okay, it says Kristen Mitchell wants to join. Hang on, Kristen. I got to figure out how do I do it? How do I accept it? I want to bring you on. It's been very hard for me to not be able to tell all the good stuff that's happening behind. That's why I was so glad to have that meeting. We had it scheduled. And Kristen, let me see. Let's see. Oh. There you go. I just invited you. Let me know if that helps. Let me know if that helps. So you guys, if you need my help, you would go to book a talk. If you type in, even on Google, book a talk with Francesca. I know there's other book a talk with Francesca businesses out there, but mine is Punished for Protecting. So just go there and then go to the contact form section. There's a video. It tells you a little bit about what I do, and you guys can hop on there and just fill out the contact form. That is separate from the bill. Okay, that is completely separate. You can get help that way. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, okay, and I really highly recommend to continue to just keep growing this immense army. All these years, Kristen, we should be able to get you on. I did invite you. I just don't know why it's not. And I saw yours come up, and I tried to bring you, but it didn't give me an option. But all these years, it's like I have this humongous database and just constant contact forms coming in. I mean, I'm talking constant. So I know, I'm like, over the years, I'm like seeing these patterns of abuse and the same stories. That's how I was able to say there's statistics that are out there that doesn't line up with what I've been first-hand knowledge witnessing for 18 years all over the country. It's not a fatherless home situation. Wait a minute, I'm looking at this. It's a motherless home situation. It's not saying that it doesn't attack fathers, because it does, clearly. Okay, so don't misunderstand me. But the statistics are not lining up. They're not right, because I see what's happening here. There are mothers without kids, completely no access, and fathers screaming 50-50 custody, but they've got 100% custody. This is not right. Okay, and then I'm going, wow, like these aren't like the men that I know. Like I have from a family of amazing fathers and husbands that are protective of women and children. These guys are one abusive case after the other. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the criminal records. I'm seeing the, but they've got the children. Why do they got the children? Like I'm looking at these things. I'm not saying every time. Okay, don't start sending me letters. Okay, I'm telling you what I've been witnessing. Oh, look at that guy. He just put a post up. 80% of men are in prison from being raised by their mothers. Huh? What? From where? Are you living in where? No. And then I look it up and it's like, nope, those percentages are foster care, not a single parent household. What a slap in the face to all the great single parent households that are out there. Now, I believe, my faith believes in marriage, covenant, husband, wife, God above. Okay, that's perfect. That's what I want to see. I believe in that. I believe in restoring marriages and healing families. I believe God can heal anything. absolutely anything. I've seen multiple marriages restored over the years, covenant marriages, genuine covenant marriages. I believe in all of that. So I'm not a man hater. Nope, never have been. Got a family full of wonderful fathers and husbands. Family full. I have a son. Not a man hater, not a man hater. Fought for many fathers. There's been fathers I fought for that I made sure they got full custody because they really were being abused in the mother's care. It does happen. Okay. Unfortunately, it does happen higher with the men. And the statistics will say, when they show you the man-woman statistics, let me tell you a little bit about that. When they show you these statistics, and I have them on my Facebook page, you can look them up. And mine are peer-reviewed studies. They're not just people making up garbage and then 1,000 other people agree with it, so they start spreading a lie. And then the more they keep spreading a lie, Google picks it up, and then you find it as a truth. You got to look at peer-reviewed studies. You've got to look at actual social science research, okay? Not just what people say. People can say anything. Okay, you have to look at the legitimacy behind it, okay? And when you do that, when it talks about interpartner relationship abuse and things of this nature, when they talk about women, first of all, they leave a very key point out. So listen carefully. Listen very, very carefully. You should all learn something. This is important. When they talk about women being women being abused and men being abused, automatically they plug it in as if the woman's doing the abusing. But what the statistics actually really say, and it's on my page, so you guys can verify it with the actual sightings of where it comes from. So you have the actual peer-reviewed study, you have the actual social science research, where it all came from. Okay, not just the father's rights group making stuff up. That's what they do all the time. Okay, and remember, guys, you good fathers that are a part of what we're doing and keep coming in and that I support, the fathers that support women and children and protect women and children, and don't call them the C word. That's a big thing on those types of fellas, the abusive type. They call women, horrible things. These men, they'll never help you, and they know it because when they come to me, they finally get help. Isn't it interesting? The man hater, they go to the man hater, and the man hater helps them. I'm saying that sort of facetiously. Those statistics that they try to tell you, that they've been lying about for years, and even churches have picked that up. But look at the churches. I mean, it's all over social media now, where a woman's trying to just get a can of formula, and not a single church. They called hundreds of churches. Not a single church would give her a can of formula for her crying baby. Okay, so look, everything's messed up in society. The churches are messed up so much. The churches don't teach the Bible anymore. It hasn't taught the Bible in over 45 years. I actually read the Word of God. Okay, and the word is authoritative, and the word is God's word. He honors it above his name, so we should be honoring his word. And what does his word say? Not what feels good for me, not what makes me happy. Okay, not that. No, what does the Bible actually say? We wouldn't be in this mess that you're looking at here if people repented and followed what the word said. I hate to tell it to you, but to break it to you gently, that is a big problem right there as to why the government has so much authority over so many families that are persecuted through family court. Okay, and it is the breakdown of the home, because that's what the devil wants to do. Okay, but going back to these statistics, so when they talk about that, they leave out a very important factor. Listen carefully. It's not women on men assault. It's men on men assault, men on women assault. And actually in the homosexual community, there's a lot of men on men assault as well. It's pretty large for that. There's a lot of that. Okay, so that's where the statistics come, but they just want to coin it as if it's women on men. And I'm not saying there's not hit the man on the head with a frying pan kind of women out there. There are, okay, but not at the percentages that they're trying to give you, and they're lying about those statistics. In my second book, I Survived a Narcissist, You Can Too, I give the genuine statistics. And we need to start pumping those statistics because it's very important. Okay, here's another thing. When they talk about 70% of women abusing men, guess where it comes from? It has nothing to do with, it's got zero to do with family court. Zero. Okay? And I have it all on my Facebook page. You guys can look at it. I recommend that you do. I highly encourage you to get educated. It's very important. Knowledge really is power, but not any other, not any kind of knowledge, not something you heard, like factual, peer-reviewed, actual studied knowledge that you can prove, okay? When they talk about that, they're not talking about anything to do with family court whatsoever, literally whatsoever, okay? And remember, there's homicides and there's filicides. We'll get into that. I'm going to get into that. But there's, under these studies, what it is it's high school. It's junior and high school. Those are where those studies are coming from. And it's not coercive control, and it's not taking somebody's money and controlling them through money and physically abusing them, molesting your partner, intimate partner violence. It's none of that. It's none of that. What it is in high school, and it could be a push. She could have threw her phone at him. It could have been a shove. It was not ongoing violence like we're seeing in family court. And why I so vehemently oppose a 50-50 standard for 2 reasons. Again, you don't have to like it, but you can keep going down the same mountain for 40 years. Enjoy yourself. See where it gets you. Okay? If you don't want to listen to some truth, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the point of the sword hurts the most when it goes in, but then it doesn't hurt anymore once you get the truth in. Okay? By the Spirit, listen. Use those ears. Okay? Listen carefully. Okay? A child isn't supposed to be cut in half. They are a whole being. We are not in an archaic society where we should be more sophisticated at this time to be able to come up with solutions that work, okay? That help heal families and holistically restore them. We don't have to go by what a judge says, because they're failing families and have been for decades. And when you have a standard, then you're giving them a power that has been hurting families all these years. You're still giving them authority, a 50-50 authority. Okay? Please listen to what I'm saying. Men, fathers, okay? Listen. If you really care and you're the protector you claim to be, then you should be protecting your children from being cut in half. They are not half a person. I believe in 100% human being, and I believe that it's the 21st century. We're in 2025, going into 2026. We don't have to go by old ways that don't work. They do not work, because there is a preponderance. There is an issue where there is abuse, because that's the reason why they're in family court in the first place. I'm sorry that you don't like me to speak the truth. I really am. The truth does really hurt. Jesus spoke the truth, and he was called a liar. Okay, he was called a rebel. Okay, he was called a devil. He was called a lot of things that he wasn't, because he spoke the truth, and the truth will make you free. And I'm here to help you become free. I'm not tolerating it, and I am all for the protective parent. When I originally started over 18 years ago, before I had my viral moment when they took my son and the whole situation, and I wrote the first book, and I went viral in Lake George because I was like, this is insane. I couldn't believe it. And it went nuts. It went viral. All I've ever stood for, and my motto was that no child should live with an abuser or a stranger. And I still stand on that. No child should live with an abuser or a stranger. And I will still pray for your marriage to be healed. And I still will pray for the abuser to be healed. Because I know you might not understand this, because I do emphasize the abuser, because it's a very serious matter. That's why we had to do a moment of silence during our first day of event, where so many children, we showed people couldn't stop crying from the amount of deaths from custody orders. You can't deny that. If you watched it and you still deny it, you got a problem. I'm really scared. You got a problem. I don't know if any amount of therapy would ever help you if you think that that's not a problem. And the amount of children that are living in current abuse, okay? This is legitimate. I don't just do this for my health, okay? I'm not making stories up. This is what's happening, and why I wrote the bill, the act, the Family Justice and Accountability Act, okay? And why God is allowing it to take on a life of its own. This is why. He's heard your cries. He's seen your tears. And now, why would you fight this? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Make it make sense. Okay? So this is why. And we do the actual research. And I am firsthand knowledge myself. I'm literally seeing this every day. 5 days a week, I'm in courts all over the entire country. You can't dispute it. You can't dispute it. Nothing, if you follow me around, which is what they're doing now, and we're going to see it all over Netflix. If you follow me around and you see the stories, and the hundreds of thousands of stories, there's no more denying it. And I'm sorry, fellas, but and I'm doing this conservatively, over 80% of the people that are coming through are mothers. And then I heard some fathers go, well, the fathers are just so distraught. They can't fight. So what you're telling me is that the mothers that have dead children that are still fighting, they're not distraught? The mothers that children are living with a pedo are not distraught? The mothers whose children they can't get to at all, they're being supervised, or they don't have no access to their kids, but they're still coming and they're still fighting. They're not distraught. Is that what you're trying to tell me? I thought you were the protectors. I thought you were the protectors. So I'm sorry for admonishing men. I love you. I believe me, I do. And I know you might find this hard to believe because people hear me when I talk to them in private meetings and so on and so forth. I cry for the abuser. That's the truth. I have such a strong faith in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who died on that cross for us. And I watched and I've seen, you've seen, and you've read in his word what he took for our sins. And I grieve for the child who became an abuser as an adult that can't keep his marriage together because he's addicted or she's addicted and they're abusive and they don't know it because when they're under the influence, they don't even know what they did. Okay. But the truth is they did do these things. And I cry for those people because I know that God cries for them too. Okay. So I don't hate the abuser either. That might be shocking to you. I pray for them. I forgive them. I pray for healing for them. I just know that they're not safe around children. They're not safe around children. I pray for the marriages. I want to see covenant marriages restored all over this country. Matter of fact, that's my first heartful place. That's my first place is the covenant of marriage. Matter of fact, if you go back and look at some stuff about me that you might not know about me, I actually used to have something called Marriage Covenant Ministries years ago. I am so firm on the covenant of marriage. I can't even begin to tell you. And I talk a lot about it in my second book. I talk about that in my second book. It is an open door to Satan because people don't stand for the covenant of marriage anymore, and they're in adulterous relationships. Some of them are sanctified by the church, calling them remarriages, and they're not. And they're not. God doesn't see it that way. Go read the Bible. Don't listen to a person behind a pulpit, especially not in the last days. Okay, don't listen to that. Read what the Bible actually says, and you'll be blown away by it. Because God doesn't contradict himself. He's not the author of confusion. He's the author of peace and truth. Okay. And I only tell you this because I love you, because I've had to repent of things myself. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not condemning anybody. He's not here to condemn you either. But I know that I love the meat of the word. I can't listen to these tickling ears pastors. I stay away from them. I have to hear somebody who's going to teach me the truth, because I know that pastor that teaches me what the word actually says cares about my soul, loves my soul, not just the surface. And that's what I care about for people. Because first and foremost, before anything I do, it's about God. Period. It's about God. And this is like a Moses moment of parting the Red Sea. And remember, they came back with the chariots. They didn't just let them leave. When he finally let them go, he came back again. That's when they got swallowed up. So don't think that we don't have a fight on our hands. This is not just like, oh, write a bill, go to Congress, get it passed. Unfortunately, it's not like that. He's giving us empowerment, though. He's giving us open doors. He's giving us a path to go through. It is amazing what he's doing. He said, bring the people so they can heal along the way. I didn't know the attacks that were going to come. He didn't remind me of that one. But persecution does come, right? But he gives me strength, and he'll give you strength too. He gives me peace, and he'll give you peace too. He gives me joy, and he'll give you joy too. Because God loves us so much. He loves us so much. And I know he grieves over. I just had one of the core members finally got her children back the other day. Yay. Yay. But she shouldn't have suffered for the 2 years, I believe it was. And then another lady, I won't say who, just got, hasn't had any access to her child except for supervised, which when you read the whole story, it's insane. It should be the other way around. These are both mothers, by the way. And she just got access to her child, unsupervised access. I wrote a letter, and then they had other stuff that they did in court, and she got her all I did is write a letter. I couldn't even get into the court because it's West Virginia. I can't even tell you how bad behind that is. And I usually get in and I talk in court and everything, but you got to navigate the way you navigate. You got to figure it out. You're like a master surgeon. And she got her, it was wonderful to see her putting up videos with her baby, with her child. Okay. This is what it's all about. But the damages, we got to talk about the damages. The damages. If you don't have faith in God, you better, if you're mad at him, tell him. He can take it. I don't blame you. Okay, I understand it. If you're hurt, if you feel like you can't trust God, there's ways God will help you. He'll bring people in your life to work with you, to pray with you. But I want you to remember something. Okay, you need your faith. Through this, you need your faith. This is not something you should go into without the Lord on your side. You need your faith, and don't blame him for what the devil did. Okay. I know it's easier said than done. I'm not saying it's not. But you need your faith through this. You need your faith. And get around like-minded believers that can pray with you, okay, to get you through what you're going through, because I know you're going through it. But this bill puts in, well, first of all, it removes gag orders. It puts in recompense. You will have due process. The judges will be held accountable both criminally and civilly. Criminally, yes, criminally. Okay, because they're not above the law. If anything, they should be held at a higher level. Let's face it, they should be held at a higher accountability. Okay, police, anybody that's involved in your case that has caused you harm will now be held criminally and civilly. Whether it's CASA workers, whether it's CPS workers, whether it's an attorney, whether it's a doctor that lied, whether it's whatever. Okay, we're going to be talking about, that's why it's called the Family Justice and Accountability Act. It's all about accountability, which we haven't seen. So again, everyone, why would anybody, unless they work for the courts, fight this bill? To the point where, did you know that somebody impersonated me in Representative Moore's office, the one who sponsored the room that we couldn't use? Yeah, I found that out later. We went to DC, and I was never in his office ever, except for definitely not the weekend that the days that we were down there for the first event, for the actual event rather. I'd never been to his office before. I sent a couple emails and got the room. That's what I did. And the second time I went, which was a couple of weeks ago, was the first time I've ever been at his office. Not even inside, just at it. Somebody else went in after me. I did go in and introduce myself. I was in for like three seconds. If I was in there a whole minute, it was a lot. Hello, that's it. And I left. One of the people from Netflix went in after me, asked some questions, did something, came back and told me, oh, I didn't realize you were in there. I'm like, yeah, I just went in like a few minutes ago. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. You were in before you got your room in Congress. No, I wasn't. Somebody actually went in and said they were me, and they believed it. They believed that. I'm like, never been there. No, I mean, obviously I know where they're coming from. I know which troll group that is. We already know. Okay, but wow. Can you believe they went to that length? Can you believe it? I'm like in awe. I'm in shock. I really am. That they went to the length of impersonating me. And going into a Congress member's office and saying they were me. I don't even know more about it. I'd like to find out more now. Like, how did they act? You know, how were they? How unprofessional did they act? How stupid did they make me look? You know what I'm saying? It's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Here, let me read some of the messages. What do we have, about 30 coming this time? Yeah, I can't keep the people away. I love it. This isn't even an event. We're just dealing with God got me through it with my youngest children. God will help us bring my eldest babies home. Amen indeed. Amen indeed. So now with the bill, you guys get recompense, you get remedy, you get relief. We get to put them in jail. Isn't it going to be a glorious day when we see these handcuffs on these judges? I just can't wait for that day. I can't wait for that day, because I look at these custody orders and I'm like, oh my God, these people are hiding behind this false immunity. You and I have immunity. We have real immunity. They don't want to talk about that, but I put that in the bill too. Okay. We have genuine immunity, real immunity. Okay. Judges don't. And they are violating so much of the Constitution and the Articles of Human Rights and the ADA that they automatically would not even have the fake immunity they have. Qualified immunity is not there. So you have a custody order that kills a child, and it doesn't happen once in a blue moon, as we all know. It happens constantly, or abuses a child or puts him into all kinds of harm, right? And the judges just get away with it because I'm sorry. Oops. Next. Oops. Next. Like, that's what you see in court. Oops. Next. Okay. Case number 5. Okay. Now we're at case number 605. Oops. Sorry. Kid died. No big deal. No big deal. Kid doesn't have his mom or dad, for absolutely no reason at all, for reporting abuse. Oh well. No big deal. No big deal. Okay. And they just keep getting away with it. No, not anymore. Not anymore. I hope you're sick of it, because I know I've been for a long time. And that's what this bill will do. This bill will hold them accountable once and for all. And anybody else. Children should not be dying because of a court order. A court order should not force a mother to have to flee a state for protection and want to go into hiding because she's got a choice. I send my child and possibly my child dies, or possibly my child will live in harm, or possibly my child will be molested, or possibly my child will be whatever. Or do I leave and hide? And no one should be put in that position. Okay, it's a normal reaction for a mom or a dad to protect their children. Normal. That's normal. And now all of a sudden you can't because a court order says you can't. But you wouldn't be, you would be told that you failed to protect your kid if you put your kid knowingly that a child would be in an abusive situation. But they play God, these judges. And I can't wait, because this bill shows them that they're not God. And one day they're going to actually meet God. That's going to happen too. So I would love to bring people on. I don't know why. The last time I did this, I was able to. It's just not working. It's just not working. So I just want to tell you guys, God bless you. You know, I guess I'll put in here, what I'll do is I think like, I don't know if you can pin it. I'm going to try to pin it, but you can go to any of the state pages, Family Justice and Accountability Act, any of the state pages. If you Google it or if you Facebook search it, there are hundreds of them are going to come up, or hundreds, there's 50 states are going to come up. And you're just going to find your state. And then on Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m., we have our Wednesday night meetings where we do updates and preparation, and we give directions and so on and so forth. Obviously, this coming Wednesday, I will be in DC, so I may have somebody take over mine, or I may still do it. I don't know. I'm going to be down with a whole team, a nice large team. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. So we'll be down there. We'll be in and out of the halls of Congress again. Yeah, and hopefully nobody impersonated me this time. We'll see. We'll find out. But yeah, it's just crazy. But I don't know if you guys have any questions, maybe. But yeah, they think they're Gestapo, and aren't they going to find out? I know there's more. There's a lot more in the bill. They're going to have to pay you for college, restoration fees, all kinds of stuff, therapy of your choice. They have to pay for it. They won't have access to it. They just have to pay for it, and so much more. Lawsuits with compensatory damages. So, but praise the Lord for the kids that came home this past week. I'm so thankful for that. And now they're going to have the hard work of healing, which should have never happened. Should have never happened. So the Family Justice and Accountability Act, I think I started saying this before. Let me just finish. People that put it through AI, oh yeah, I did say this. Their cases would never be where they are now if the bill was enacted. Okay? So just remember, everything in the bill, though, you can start enforcing immediately anyway, because it's all just law. It's existing law. It's existing protections that the courts try to hide. Amazing. Isn't it sad? Fighting for things we already have. Unreal. God bless you guys. Love you. And let's keep this amazing fight going. Share.